So today we are going to make this bunny. So the added flowers are crochet. You could also add a bow if you like. There are lots of YouTube tutorials, but I would recommend Cozy Cloud Knits does a flower and a bow. That would be good to check out. I like to use a fidget toy for my row counter, scissors, a lighter, just in case you have breakage. A tapestry needle if you want to embroider the face. You can use your chunky yarn for the face and just use your hands to tie it. I'm going to also use blanket yarn to embroider my face. For the jumbo yarn, you will not need more than a skein. You probably only need half or 20 yards of your big chunky jumbo size 7 yarn, and then you'll need some polyfill. So we're just going to need one color for this pattern. So we're going to leave a decent sized tail, 10 to 12 inches. I like to leave 12 just to make sure I have enough to close if I have any problems. You're going to start with your slip knot. So you're going to take your working yarn over top of the tail and then pull up a loop, pull the tail tight, pull the working yarn to adjust the size of the loop. Now this is just going to be a chain, and then we're going to make a circle. So we're going to chain 9. This counts as your first loop. I'm going to make these just a little bit tighter than 2 finger widths. So that is what your chain should look like. Now I'm going to turn this chain into a circle. If you want to go counterclockwise, you bring your tail up, go down through this second last loop and pull tight. I'm going to go in a clockwise, so I'm going to bring it around this way, go in that second last loop, pull it tight, nice and close. And then in these outside chain spaces, making sure I have my working yarn and not my tail, I'm going to pull up so there's a total of 8 loops. So it'd be 7 more loops because we had 1. These are 1 finger width. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The materials, I forgot to mention, I do like to use stitch marker, but you can just use a piece of your blanket yarn or another piece of yarn. And I just like to put it in my first stitch. So the next round, we're just going to knit 8 around. Next, we're going to knit 2 and then increase, pulling up a loop in between the 2 existing loops. So that will be 4 times around with the 3 stitches. So that's going to give us a total of 12 loops at the end. So knit 2, and then increase, pulling up a loop in between there, and then repeat. Here's our 12 loops. Now we're going to knit 12 for 4 rounds. So that would be, if you don't want to go round by round, it would be a total of 48 loops. So I'm going to go round by round. So before we start decreasing, we want to close off this bottom part. If you're comfortable with your closing off skills from this way, then go around with your tail, going from inside to outside the circle, closing it off. I have found, because you want it to be a really flat bottom so that it sits well, I have found that I like doing it this way. So I'm going to flip it inside out, and then make sure you get those chain spaces, and then you're from the inside to the outside. Should be back. Just gonna go through this last space. If you're finding it's not closing well, just keep going around. That feels good. Just double check this side that it's nice and closed off. Looks pretty good. If it's not, just keep going through that centerpiece, weaving inside out. But I'm going to go one more time, and then I'm just going to anchor it inside here. So I'm going to go around a stitch, making a loop, and then pull my tail through that loop, and then just do the same thing again on the same spot. And you could do that 3 times if you really, really want to. So then we're going to turn it back out. Make sure you didn't lose any loops. Pull them back if they feel like they're going to slip through. So you want to kind of push that button-ish in. Moving on to the next round. We're going to knit 2 and then decrease, and that'll be 3 times, and so we'll end up with 9 loops. So I like to alternate my decreases, so left over right first, left loop over right. Oops, sorry, I said knit 2, decrease, left over right. Right over left. Left over right. So next we're going to just knit around those 9 for 2 rounds. Okay, at this point, I'm going to start adding some polyfill. If you really want it to have a really sturdy base, you could fill a nylon sock or something like a sock and with rice, beans, or poly beads, and you could put that in the bottom, You could also cut out the diameter, take this, the diameter of this, you could cut out a piece of cardboard that you could stick in the bottom if you're having problems getting a nice flat base. But I find if you just really encourage it to be flat when you're stuffing it, it's gonna help it be flat. So that is about how much I'm gonna stuff it for now. And again, just encouraging this bottom, don't overstuff it, pushing it down that the bottom puffs out. Encourage the bottom to be flat as you're stuffing it. Stuff out and up, not down. Okay, next round we're going to knit and decrease around. So knit 1 and then do the alternate decreasing. So we should end up with 6 loops when we're done. Left over right. Right over left. And then left over right finished. So we should be down to 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Next round, we're just going to knit 6. Maybe add a little more polyfill now. Knit, decrease around again, so I'll end up with 4. Left over right. Right over left. So next you're going to finish stuffing it as full as you want. And cut your tail probably 6 to 8 inches, whatever you need, so that you can go from inside, outside the loops. And I am just going to put a little bit more at the very, very top, just because the ears are going to be coming out of the top, so you want it to be pretty sturdy up there. Pull tight. Then if you can find the middle, go back down the middle. Weave it through maybe a little bit, and then just anchor it again to stitch, doing the pull up the loop twice. And then if it's too long of a tail, cut it, tuck it in. Now we're going to add some ears. So choose the prettiest side of your cone to be your face, and then you're going to go up, and the ears are going to come right out off these first rows. So if I put my stitch marker through, that's one loop, and this is where I'm going to pull through the second loop. So we're just going to pull up 2 loops, knit 5 rows, weave the end down, and then tie it off. So I'm not going to worry about my row counter right now. You can start whichever, inside or outside, it doesn't really matter. Just know that your yarn then will be on the inside or the outside of the ear, and then just be consistent with the other side. So there's no right or wrong way, just the same on both sides. So pull up 2 loops. So it's 1 row. Four and 5, and then the next you're just going to decrease. I like the look this one for left over or right over left, and then you have 1 loop. Cut a fairly long tail again, so you have room to work. Pull it tight, and then like I said, if you weave inside the ear, then weave inside the ear on this one. If you weave outside the ear, you weave outside the ear on the other one. So I think because my yarn tail is on the inside, I'm going to go down the inside. If you pull too tight, it will curl your ears. Go out here. It just comes through that one. So if you wanted it to have like a little bend in it or whatever, just give a little tug on that, and then you've got a little more personality maybe. And then I'm going to go into the body and tie up with this other end. Pull it a little bit. This other end, I'm going to take it and I'm just going to wrap it around this stitch once, just to make sure nothing's going to pull out. Want everything nice and anchored. Tie them together. Cut, and then if you have a pokey stick, you can use that, but I'll just force it. Strengthen up those fingers. There we go. Okie dokie. Now we'll do the other side. We're gonna go on this one, this one. Pull up 1 loop. And then decrease. Can't remember what I did on the other side. I think I did right over, so left over. Cut long tail. Pull through, and then I went down the inside of that other ear. Into the body, wrap this around up there. Is this not the same? I think so. feet, I would suggest. So find the middle of your ears and trace it down, and you're probably going to leave 2 lines between the feet, and then you're going to pull up 3 loops for the feet. So that actually might be more over there. There we go. And you want to go just to where it's starting to curve. If you go too high up on the curve, it's not going to sit well. It's going to bobble around. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Pull the loops up from the bottom up. So there. And then you're just going to knit 3 again. If you have to, turn it around so that you're pulling the loops up towards the top of it. And then you're going to, not cut it yet, sorry. You're going to pull up a big loop and another big loop. Then you're going to take, because I got the ears pointed to me now, the right over the left, or yeah, the old loop over the new loop, first loop over the second loop. I don't know how to term it. It depends how you're holding it, which way is which foot you're doing first. So it can be a little confusing there. 3 loops, knit 3, finish off across, cut your yarn tail, pull it through that last one, then weave it down 1 chain, 1 row of your foot, and then you can go into the body. And I'm just going to come, oops, I need to weave it more. If it pulls too much, weave it more. And there. Wrap this guy around, out, double tie. Okay, and then do this one. Just trying to see. I think I'm going to put it there. Turn it so it faces me. It's easier. Pulling from the bottom up. Is that going to be even? I think it'll be okay. Knit another 3 through the 3 loops you pulled up. Now you're going to do the big loops and finish off. So first loop over the second loop, pull through, cut a nice long yarn tail, give yourself extra to work with, and then weave down the foot. Into the body and out. Wrap this one around the stitch. Tie it off. cut if it's a little bit long. Again, I should have a pokey stick. Again, I always slip with the pokey stick and then poke myself with the pokey stick. So there we go. Should be good. Tail is pretty easy. Again, you're just pulling up loops. So find the middle, again, where you think, and put it a little bit lower than you would, again, probably normally position it. First, so those two are up. When you put it up, just check and see, like you want a little bit of room between where it's going to sit because it is going to get bigger with the increases in the next round, but you want it pretty close to the ground. So just make sure you check out spacing. And then pull up 4 or 2, 4, 4, 2 to make 4. Then you're going to anchor your working yarn or your tail to your working yarn and stuff it in the middle. Going to knit around again for 4, pulling from inside to outside the circle, the square. We still have 4 loops. And the next is knit increase around, end up with 8. Cut a fairly decent tail. Again, we're going around to close off, inside to outside. Before you pull tight, you can add some polyfill. I like to add it just at the end. Otherwise, I tend to pull polyfill through my loops while I'm doing this. Maybe a little bit more. There we go. And then just anchor it off. If it's not closing well for you, just keep weaving around. Cut that because it's rather long. And there is our tail. There is our feet, there are our ears. Now we just need to add the face details, and then you can add the little crochet bits, crochet-y flowers or bow or whatever you want. So for this face, I'm going to do happy eyes. So this one is kind of like sleepy eyes with the down V's. I'm going to do the up V's. I do these 2 different ways. So the nose is done one way to make a little bit sharper, and then these ones are done a little bit different to make them a little bit more half C's, less sharp. So placement, the middle nose, you want right in the middle, and then go off. The eyes come on the same line as where the nose is. So I'm going to try to do that kind of on this one. It's just going to be with the happy eyes. So start with the nose. Oh boy, I don't have a nice straight line like I did on the other one. So I'm going to come in just from a little bit further away. Then I'm going to go down and insert, and then back up to the other side. I'm going to go back down into that same spot for the bottom peak of the nose, and then back out. Like that. So when I do the face embroidery, I usually don't tie off any of my ends until the very end, just in case you have to pull something out or adjust it, or you don't like the way it looks. For the eye, so I said come up that kind of same line, not too far, and we're going to go up this time, so I'm going to need a little bit more room. Go down further first, and then go up to this one probably, down to there. Oops, I did the eye like I did the eye the same as the nose. So if you didn't want to do the eye the same as the nose, pull this out. I'll show you another way. Go straight across, and then go up to where you want the top of the eye, and then just bring this up, go around it, and then tighten it all up, go back down into where you came out. Might depend on your yarn, might depend on the look you're going for, which way you like better. But those are two different ways of doing those. So I'm going to do the other eye the same way, just do them the same. Like if you do one eye this one way, do it the same. So it's again easiest probably to come in from the same line as the nose. So I'm going to go in and across. Across. This might be completely off because I'm not really looking at the other side right now. Is it up, not high enough? It's not bad. It should probably be up there. So just pull it out. This is why it's easy to fix things. Back in. So I said it had to be like up there. Oh, and I still didn't. You got to make sure you get that cord. It's super fuzzy yarn. That might be too high. Suspicious bunny. One eye higher than the other. We'll just see how this looks when I finish it off here. Sometimes you just got to finish it. There. That doesn't look too terrible. And then just down little one from the mouth. So I'm going to go up nose peak is. I'm probably just down like 1 row and then back out because you don't want it to be super big. It's probably big enough. All right, so I'm going to tie in all the ends, and then you can add on any other little details you want up here if you want to check out those YouTube videos for the crochet flowers, or you could do Cozy Cloud Knits has a finger knit flower as well. It's a little bit bigger. You might need to play around with the placement kind of thing, but yeah, perfect for Easter. Oh, and